Alright, so today let's talk some science. Now we, like all of you guys, are in the midst of living through a global pandemic, and we found ourselves with a little extra time on our hands and a little more time to think about some questions. And something that recently came up between the two of us was a conversation about Tesla's Defense Mode that comes on the Model S and X. If that actually offers any protection against the coronavirus.
Yeah, this is a serious question, and what we ended up doing was we decided to research it, and we spent a couple hours researching all about this Tesla Defense Mode, and that's what we're here to share with you guys today. Now, before we get started here, it is worth noting that, we own this Tesla Model 3. It actually does not have Defense Mode, since the HEPA filter that is part of that system is actually too big to fit in this 3. So it's actually equipped on the Model X and S, and actually the older S's didn't have it, but it is a option that you can add on to it if you do have an older S that is not equipped with Defense.
Now, Tesla's Defense Mode was introduced several years ago, so you may not remember exactly what it is. Basically, it's an advanced HEPA filter, very large, like we already mentioned. It takes up like this much space. It's gigantic, and it's just designed to really, really filter strongly all types of things. Now, according to Tesla, this is from their website, it is designed to remove fine particulate matter and gaseous pollutants, as well as bacteria, viruses, pollen, mold, and spores. So, as you can see, that's kind of where our thinking came from with the question when we looked it up. They do mention viruses specifically, and viruses are the smallest type of thing that it can filter out. They're much smaller than bacteria, for instance, so not a lot of things can filter out viruses, so that's what piqued our interest. So does that mean it can filter out the coronavirus? Game over, that's it? Not exactly. So, researching it, to be considered a HEPA filter by the US government, it needs to filter out 99.797% of particulates that are 0.3 microns in size. Now, like I already mentioned, when you're talking about viruses, you're talking about like the smallest of the small, right? Yeah. So, according to the latest research by scientists, of course the coronavirus is new, but their latest research is indicating that the coronavirus is 0.125 microns in size. So, you don't have to be a math genius to figure out we're talking about something that's actually smaller than what the US government even considers when you're rating a HEPA filter.
So does that mean if the coronavirus is smaller than the HEPA filter requirement, does that mean that it doesn't work at all?
Not exactly. Like many things, the truth is somewhere in between. So a filter, what we learned, it doesn't operate like a net. Like we were thinking, like many of you guys are probably thinking, that you have a net, and if the hole is this big and the virus is smaller, it's just gonna go straight through. That's not exactly how the filter operates. There's a process called diffusion, and what that basically means is the virus, being as small as it is, it bounces off the oxygen molecules because it's so small. Yeah. So this process of bouncing means instead of just going through the filter, it sits there and actually bounces through the filter. It can't make it through immediately. This process of bouncing means that it's far more likely to still run into one of the HEPA filter fibers. Therefore, it would still be captured even though it's much smaller than perhaps what the filter is able to take out. And then even further adding to the confusion is the fact that most of the time the coronavirus, as well as other viruses, are passed inside of droplets from your spit or from coughing and stuff like that, and those are much larger than the virus itself. Yeah. So, basically, to kind of sum it up, yes and no. You can't 100% say that Tesla's Defense would filter out the coronavirus, but you could safely say that it wouldn't hurt anything. It definitely is gonna.
I take my chances, yeah.
Right. So the moral of the story is, if you're lucky enough to have a Tesla Model S or X, turn on biodefense mode. Why not?
Yeah.
It will definitely give you a strong filtering effect for viruses, as well as things outside like air pollution and stuff like that. It's not going to do you any harm, and it may actually protect you. But as far as like, should you go spend $80,000 and buy a Tesla Model S right now to keep yourself safe from coronavirus? Probably not.
Just live in your Tesla Model X or S until the whole
never leave.
The quarantine in your S or X. I mean, that might be what Elon Musk wants you to do, but but now that our biology lesson has ended, I do want to, discuss how coronavirus is affecting our channel and how it might affect, the type of content that you'll see coming, to Car Confections. So first and foremost, we hope all of you guys are safe and are practicing the quarantine practices that your state has applied and as regulated by the CDC. That's the first concern, is that we want you guys to be safe, and I'll let you know that we are definitely practicing those by staying away from anyone and everyone as much as we can. Now, as far as how it's going to affect the content on the channel, some states, including Kentucky, is actually, we're actually closing down dealerships.
Yeah, that's happened just 2 days ago. So that's definitely a big thing. That's obviously where we get our content at. So we, like most of you guys, are having adverse effects as far as the coronavirus is concerned and employment.
That said, though, we did have that kind of foresight going into it. And once we got back from our trip in Arizona, we tried to stockpile as many reviews as we could. So we do have still content that will be coming up. We're not completely shut down by any means, but it is important that for those remaining videos, please, tune into them and keep, help keep us afloat here by, watching those videos that we have remaining. And we're going to try and keep new content up as well.
If anything, it's just going to force us to be a little bit more creative. You'll see some different types of things, some interesting things like the video you just got through looking at. We don't usually delve into science, but just kind of thinking outside the box. But like you said, we have plenty of regular reviews coming your way, comparisons, Tesla videos. We have some things to do. Hopefully we'll be out of this sooner rather than later, so that we won't have to, have this extend on and on and on and on. And I'm sure all of you guys as well want to get back to your normal lives as quickly as possible. So despite having a little bit more obstacles coming our way over the next few weeks or whatever, we just want to make sure to do our part. We're not healthcare professionals, so we're not saving lives or anything like that, but if our small part is going to be to make a video that cheers your day up just a little bit, that's what we want to do. So we're going to make sure to do the best we can to give you guys regular video content,
as consistent as possible,
consistently as we can.
And as far as things to do while you're in quarantine, number one, I'm going to say, watch our videos, right?
Yes.
Right? Watch our videos.
Number one thing to do.
We have like 800 different videos, so even if we're not able to upload, go back to our stockpile and find something that maybe you're interested in. As far as other things, I know we've been doing this a lot. You can stay in quarantine in your house, but you can also stay in quarantine in your car. So
that's right. We're gonna change that little. You've all seen it, the little stay-at-home thing on Instagram.
Yeah.
Stay at home or stay in your car, because driving around is not banned as far as I know in most places. And
if they do, I'll throw a riot.
Yeah, what the heck? Yeah. I mean, we at least find driving around aimlessly to be kind of a therapeutic and relaxing type of thing to do. And it's safe. You're socially distanced from everyone else. You're inside of just your contained car. So stay at home or stay in your car. I prefer that one. And then, of course, just make sure to rest and relax. I think that's something we're all guilty of just kind of neglecting. So make sure to do that. It's very important that you you know, kind of take this time. It's not ideal, of course, but you know, looking on the positive side, it does give you a chance to do some different things and relax and focus on some stuff that maybe you've been neglecting.
Yeah. But in conclusion, we hope you enjoyed our Tesla BioDefense Mode kind of look at how that might affect the coronavirus. And just number one priority, stay safe and be happy.